now. Detroit police say a family argument led to a deadly shooting outside a funeral home on Detroit's east side.
Happened a little before 11 this morning at the Clora Funeral Home, which is on 7 Mile. Sean Lay has the latest information. It happened as a funeral was occurring.
Going to be a shooting or petting at 5801 East 7 Mile Road.
A deadly shooting during a funeral.
Call says there's a male shot at the location.
At a Detroit funeral home. On such a difficult day for a family to lay someone to rest, a single shot is fired.
It happened outside on the side of the building.
Right outside the side door of Clora Funeral Home on East 7 Mile.
The victim and the suspect are related. They're cousins. They had an argument of some sort. During the argument, one of them produced a gun and shot the other one.
In fact, Local 4 has learned, multiple sources confirming tonight, that the person who allegedly fired that deadly shot is the owner of the funeral home. Police say a 37-year-old man well known in the community. And after the shot was fired, the owner waited for police and was taken into custody. The person shot and killed his 53-year-old cousin. A woman arriving to pay her respects for someone else who passed away stopped cold when she saw a body at the door.
That young man laying on the ground dead.
In the parking lot?
No, up on by the door. Up at the funeral home door.
The guy was at the funeral home door.
Yeah, but what can you say in this mad world? God is mad about this. This kind of stuff, all this killing and stuff. What can you say?
What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope everybody's doing well out there on this beautiful Thursday. I'm doing real good myself. I'm telling you, you know, our people, at least, I'm going to just say our people are in trouble, okay? And it will be wise to avoid going to a lot of social events, you know, because you don't know what might break out. You know, that was a funeral, you understand? And did you see the size of that bullet shell? You understand? That was on the ground by that marker. It was like had to be an AK or AR-15, 223, you know, caliber or something, man. That was a big bullet. But the police officer said that guy pulled a gun. When he said that, I thought maybe he pulled a 9 or some shit like that, but he didn't pull a gun. He pulled a fucking cannon, you know, something to drop an elephant, you know. But yeah, the lady is right. God, the Most High, you know, Yahweh is very mad at the living at the conditions in the ways that his children are choosing to live. At least a lot of his children. But the thing is, it seems like the majority, and the majority always affects the minority. Okay. Shout out to the sister queen. I know who I am for hipping me to this particular situation right here. My point is, just like in this story right here, it says at least 20 people shot, one fatally, at a party attended by hundreds in Southeast Washington. All right. This is what I'm saying. Mass social gatherings avoid at all costs. You know, that funeral situation was probably about the third one that I covered. You know what I mean? Since I've been doing YouTube videos, people start throwing bullets at funerals. All right. Now to get into this particular story right here, it says here a 17-year-old was killed, and an off-duty DC police officer suffered life-threatening injuries after authorities said at least 20 people were shot when a dispute broke out early Sunday at a cookout attended by hundreds of people in Southeast Washington. DC police said at least 3 shooters opened fire from different locations about 12:30 a.m. on Du Bois Place in the Greenway neighborhood, sending panic, partygoers racing for cover, and others screaming for friends and relatives. The dead teenager was identified as Christopher Brown. Goes on to say here, I really don't understand how my child's life is just gone, said the victim's mother, Arteka Brown, 33. She said she last spoke to her son 2 days ago when he hugged her, when she hugged him and told him, I love you. The unidentified off-duty police officer who apparently was at the party was critically injured and was fighting for her life, DC Police Chief Peter Nasham said. Officials said the officer, who is 22 years old and has been on the force for about a year, was struck in the neck. Wow. See, this is what I'm saying, man. It's just, it just don't make no damn sense. This must be the young man that lost his life after going to this event. Okay. It goes on to say authorities said there was a dispute before shots were fired, and police said they think there were exchange of gunfire. At least 11 of the victims were women. Police initially said 21 people had been shot, but later determined one of the injured victims had not been struck by a bullet. Video posted on social media show revelers partying, revilers, whatever, partying shoulder to shoulder near Du Bois Place at 34th Street Southeast after the shots. Some victims fell while others scattered. The crime scene sprawled for blocks, with police marking 170 pieces of evidence. Police said nearly 100 bullets were fired. Listen at this, man. It seemed like it had to be planned. You know what I'm saying? And what I don't understand is the fact that with all of this so-called coronavirus on the loose, why would they allow for anybody to throw any kind of mass social gatherings, like this? They should have been shut this down as far as I'm concerned, Yeah, but this is Christopher Brown right here. He's 17 years old. To continue, it says here, the party and the tragedy that ensued revived questions about large gatherings. Okay, here we go. That flout Mayor Muriel E. Bowser order that prohibits groups larger than 50 and requires those older than 2 to wear a mask when they leave home and are likely to come into contact with others. The mask requirements, one of the strictest in the nation, was toughened recently after cases began to spike. Now, do you notice normally when they give the toughest, crackdown on whatever, like there's big gun restrictions in Los Angeles. I think in New York too, you're not allowed to own a gun or whatever, however way that go. But listen to all these shootings that happens, go figure. But to continue here, it says here the Bowser the administration has so far emphasized voluntary compliance over enforcement through arrests and fines, though the mayor indicated Sunday that police might not take a tougher stand. Nasham said police had been aware of the party, though an online advertisement for the event through an online advertisement for the event and were monitoring it. He said officers called in additional help as the crowd grew, but apparently did not intervene. He also said they did not think they had enough officers to break up the gathering. They could have broke that up if they wanted to. I'm wondering, did they use other tactics, if you know what I mean, to break this particular gathering up? If you know what I'm driving at, see. But to continue, I'm concerned that the event wasn't broken up, Nasham said in an interview, adding that he is reviewing the response from the 6th district. He said it appears officers were present when the shooting occurred. A Wilson building official said the administration was exploring rather to penalize the promoters of the block party who advertised the event on Instagram. The organizers could not be reached for comment, and they did not return a message left via Instagram. Authorities Sunday were hard pressed to recall another time when so many people were shot in a single incident. Yeah, this is beginning to be suspect, man. It goes on to say more than 115 people have been slain in the district this year, a 17% increase over this time in 2019, which ended the year with a decade high. Those killed include an 11-year-old boy shot at an anti-violence cookout on the 4th of July, and 71-year-old shot while protecting her granddaughter. Gee. DC officials have attributed some of the killings to dispute involving neighborhood crews and gangs, and between people who know each other. The Sham said he blames the availability of illegal firearms and that the people caught using them are not deterred by the criminal justice system. He also has said criminal suspects freed from jail because of the coronavirus pandemic are contributing to the violence. And which I think that's a bullshit anyway, because, you know, what having, you know, the coronavirus to let you be free from jail for, you know, what I'm saying. That shouldn't carry no weight as far as I'm concerned. Hell, that's all they're going to do. I've read a couple stories as it is, where there's some guys that got out and committed crimes, killed some people. You see what I mean? Based on the coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? Hell, he can come out here and catch coronavirus the way y'all claim. You know, something ain't right with all this shit, you know. But I digress. Residents of the Greenway neighborhood said that the annual block party draws people from across the district to the residential streets off Minnesota Avenue southeast of Capitol Street. A flyer advertised the 5th annual 34th Eat Cookout and indicated free food and drinks with relatives of the teenage victim, saying it drew an even larger crowd than previous years. The flyer promised a drama-free event. Well, they lied, because it was a damn disaster. It was a nightmare, you know. A musical artist known by his social media moniker St. Clair DMV, who attended the party, the block party, said there were as many as 400 attendees at its peak. He said it was peaceful and people were having fun for hours. The artist, who declined to provide his real name, said there were enough police there that it made you think twice about being stupid. This is the reason why I'm starting to suspect the damn police, okay? Mari Doyle, 22, said she and her mother were returning to their home in the neighborhood when they heard gunfire. They immediately ducked and ran for cover. As soon as we got out of the car, rounds went off, said Doyle, who lives a block away from the shooting. All you heard was people yelling for their friends. Brown said Christopher had a 1-year-old son and another child on the way. He was the oldest of 5 boys and was planning to attend Kingsman Academy public charter school this fall in Northeast Washington. Oh, what a shame, man. Life snuffed out so soon, you know? Gee. To continue, relatives said he'll be remembered most for his dancing ability and signature smile. Charisma Brown, Christopher's aunt, expressed dismay that the police did not break up the event sooner. She described it as a gathering of hundreds and said it had been advertised for days. If we're in the coronavirus thing, why were they allowed to gather that big? Why were they allowed to throw a function that big, she said. They said there was a flyer sent out. They knew about this. This wasn't something that was hidden. My son's 12. I'm scared for him to get older, she said. Nothing her nephew's child and the one on the way. Let me read that. Excuse me. Noting her nephew's child and the one on the way. They will never know how much of a beautiful soul their father has, she said. DC officials said the hundreds of people at the party made it a clear violation of Bowser's orders to control the spread of coronavirus. Violations carries fines up to $1,000. Authorities have struggled with how to address violations of the city's coronavirus restrictions and have repeatedly declined to say specifically how police would enforce the rules. Yeah, who knows? They might do a mass shooting. Wow. In conclusion here, it says here, but speaking from the scene of Sunday's shooting, Bowser indicated law enforcement may have to be more aggressive. I think they already were. You want to know the truth about it? It's very important that as a community, we have zero tolerance for this activity, Bowser said, noting police will have to make some difficult decisions and break up these events. Bowser added, and the community is going to have to understand that some people may have to go to jail. We know it's summertime. People have been cooped up and they don't have a lot of places to go, Bowser said. There have been cookouts that have happened peacefully for years, and years that are spinning out of control. DC Councilman Chairman Phil Mendelson, D there, parentheses, said enforcing social distancing at such events present a quandary for authorities, as well as party goers, who should not feel like police are a hindrance. A block party is an ultimate community activity, he said. But if the alternative is to prevent parties of or break them up, I think that's going to backfire on police. Let me tell y'all this. I'll be surprised if they actually find who did this. You understand? I'll be surprised if they, in other words, they know who did it. Shit, you know. To continue, Mendelson said there is no easy solution to enforce. But those congregating across DC must recognize that mask wearing and social distancing make a difference in the midst of a public health emergency. I don't think we want to arrest people for not wearing masks, but people need to wear masks, and I don't know how we make that happen if people are going to disobey the directive, he said. Dexter L. Humphrey, an advisory neighborhood commission member for the area that includes Greenway, said the people who organize the event should be held responsible. Humphrey says sending a few police officers to break up a party with hundreds of attendees could cause a riot. He said word needs to get out to residents that we've got to stop having these parties. Patricia Howard Chitums, an ANC representative for the Greenway neighborhood, said persuading people to listen is hard, you know. We can only hope that people will follow the instructions given out by the mayor and the health commissioner, she said. Unfortunately, some people in this community think they are immune. Howard Chittum said there are several places in and around Greenway where large gatherings occur, including one less than a mile from Sunday's shooting, that critics on social media noted included crowds without masks, no social distancing, and plenty of alcohol. These are not new hotspots, she said. The police have been well aware of these for years. But Howard Chittum also noted recent efforts to defund police and concerns over police conduct in the wake of the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Unfortunately, the police have been neutered by the politicians, she said. It's hard for the police to do what they are expected to do and the job they want to do. Well, like I said, police are suspect in this case right here. You know, they had a chance to break this particular situation up. If you can't control a block party, how the hell would you control, if say for instance, if a lot of people just gathered just to go and do whatever with guns, if you just gonna back off? You know, it's something very, very suspect about this story right here. And like I said before, I'll be surprised if they catch the people who are responsible for what happened here. You know, I will be surprised. I'm telling you. But again, I will say, make sure, people, that you avoid, you know, mass social gatherings, you know, or what have you. And be careful if you do go to funerals or even churches, because I'm telling you, it's just crazy out there, you know. But y'all tell me what y'all think about this particular story right here. I'm interested in hearing y'all thoughts, views, and opinions on it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is James, and people, please remember to live your life as though we are being watched. Simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.